Hey people, it is Sunday, September the 8th. The time is 8:38 in the evening, and it's about 18 degrees Celsius. And I am on the corner of Bloor and Bathurst. Just about to come into the Annex neighborhood as I head east here along Bloor Street West. And I'm going to make my way towards home, but along the way I think I might check out a few areas in the north end of downtown, such as Bloor-Yorkville. I don't often do Sunday evening walks, but since I just was doing a live stream, I ended up in this area. And I'm a fair distance from home still, so it seems like a good opportunity to do a video, sort of a unplanned video, I guess you could say. Today is a very comfortable day temperature-wise. There's pretty much no humidity. Barber, shisha, and billiards. That's quite the combination of things in here. Huh. I think that must be fairly new. I don't remember seeing it before. Bombay Roti here at Lee's Palace. Got some shows coming up. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I remember Lee's Palace was featured in the Scott Pilgrim books. We'll just keep on talking as we pass the Muzak zone. There's the Victory Cafe. That used to be in Mervish Village, which was closed down as part of the redevelopment of the Honest Ed's site.
Wow, he's so cool.
And the new bike lane here is getting a lot of use at the moment. Seeker's Books. This is a very highly regarded bookstore here. They used to be open quite late. It says now open 12 to 9, which I guess is still pretty good for a Sunday evening. I think they used to be open till midnight. All you can eat here at Monkey Sushi. And the Future Bistro. This used to be called the Future Bakery. It's sort of an iconic building here on the corner of Bloor and Brunswick. They have a big patio. And this was another well-known night spot here, but now it's a Value Village boutique. I think it was also a Rexall briefly. BMV Cafe right beside BMV Books. I think this is closed for the evening. They close at 7 on Sundays. And every other night other than Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, where it's open until 11. One of the newer Belly Buster sub-locations there. I haven't tried that location yet, but I have tried the King Street one many times, and I highly recommend it. In 35 years at Trinity St. Paul's. I think this Metro supermarket is also the site of a redevelopment for a new residential tower. Doesn't look like this redevelopment proposal is meeting with much approval from the area residents. There aren't a lot of full-size grocery stores in this immediate area. That might be why. Something smells really good here. This is the Jewish Community Center. My sister and nephews make good use of this place. We have a CN Tower sighting looking due south down Spadina Avenue. Suddenly got dark. And this whole stretch has just recently sort of fully reopened after a long period of construction where they were building these new protected bike lanes on both sides of the street. We're coming into University of Toronto territory here. New tower is rising here on the property of this old church where they retained some of the old church, as you can see. We're at Huron and Bloor.
We should go too.
The bike lanes are pretty wide here. Makes it easy to pass a slower moving cyclist. I think previously they were very narrow, which made it pretty much impossible to do that. And the Beta Shoe Museum, looking all dark right now. Wait a second. I wonder what was there. For a second I thought they took down the signage, but that was for something else. And here's the newly configured intersection of Bloor and St. George, where they brought it up to standard for cyclists, making it as safe as possible. I think this might be the new standard going forward for many intersections that feature bike lanes. You have bike lanes going north here along St. George as well. Mink School of Global Affairs. Still have U of T buildings all along this part of Bloor Street. And we got Varsity Stadium. Let's see if there's anything going on the athletic field here. If not, it still provides pretty awesome view of part of the downtown skyline. I think this construction site here is for a new timber building that will be one of the tallest all timber buildings in Canada. I think it'll be 14 stories of timber construction. Trying to manipulate my camera with one hand. It's a bit tricky. There we go. You can see a better look at some of the skyline. Of course, all the lighting in the field here is making it a bit hard to see. Being a Beatles fan, I always think about the time when John Lennon played his first live show with the newly formed Plastic Ono Band as part of a major concert there. The Rock and Roll Revival in 1969. It was also one of the first performances by Alice Cooper. And the Doors also played there, among many others, including classic rock and roll acts such as Chuck Berry. Coming into a pretty fancy stretch of Bloor Street here, approaching the Mink Mile. think former Mayor John Tory lives in this building. And he lived there during his entire time as mayor.
Yeah, it's really nice. We're going on walks in that park.
This is the Music Conservatory, a beautiful building. Associated with University of Toronto. And that's Philosopher's Walk. That'll take you down to Hoskin Avenue or Harvard Street in that area in Queen's Park. And the Royal Ontario Museum. This is getting a bit of a reno right now. Kind of a controversial design, but I like it. And the historic Park Hyatt Hotel. So we're approaching Avenue Road and Queen's Park. Go north and south from Bloor Street. I think I'll go north and then we'll take a walk through Yorkville. Oh, you can see some of the renderings of what work is being done inside of the ROM here. A major redo of the entryway of the museum. And there's the old historic side of the museum. There's another entrance there that you can use. It's really a gorgeous building and Toronto's lucky to have it. Looking east into the heart of the Mink Mile, as they call it. The high-end luxury retailers lining several blocks of Bloor Street. But Yorkville Village is also a very high-end shopping area. They're basically all lumped together as a single neighborhood called Bloor-Yorkville. So let's see what's going on a Sunday night here in Yorkville Village. Probably not a whole lot. I'm expecting it to be a bit sleepy. So this is Cumberland Street. Very nice water feature. If you go back over 50 years, this was the center of Toronto's bohemian community and later the hippie community. Sort of like a Haight-Ashbury or Greenwich Village. Toronto's version. Probably more like Greenwich Village, I would say, given its name was Yorkville Village. And it does have a more downtown location than Haight-Ashbury, which is kind of away from downtown in San Francisco. There's Old York Lane. You can take that up to Yorkville Avenue. So I think I'll do that in a minute, but let's just check out the big rock. This is a park, more or less. Some ancient Canadian shield rock that was transported here from the Muskoka area. A couple of hours north of Toronto. It was transported in pieces and put all back together again. It gives you a nice little view of the neighborhood. There's an entry to Bay subway station. And Old York Lane. This can be very busy and bustling on a Friday or Saturday night. Much quieter tonight. But it's kind of neat how there are little shops and restaurants. And Yorkville Avenue right here. This is the main street of Yorkville Village. This is where all the coffee houses and then later live music venues during the beatnik and hippie eras were located. And now it's just very high-end shopping and luxury hotels. The Hazelton Hotel, I think that might be one of the most highly rated hotels in the city there.
Yeah, we'll do it this week.
Well, still a fair number of people out and about. It is a very pleasant night.
I usually, whenever I meet people on the street.
Lots of old Victorian townhouses, which are now high-end boutiques. It must have been cool to walk through here in the late 1960s, though, when there were coffee houses. You could see the beginnings of such legendary Canadian musicians such as Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and Gordon Lightfoot, and many others who got their start here in Yorkville. And there are other walkways taking you to some of the other streets. Not as interesting as Old York Lane, though. It's Bel Air Street. That's closed to vehicle traffic for the duration of the summer. Lined with patios. Cafe Nervosa. I think there's a plaque around here somewhere describing the history of the neighborhood and its time as a hippie epicenter. Lots of high-end condominiums. So here's Bay Street.
Okay, so I know. I maybe.
Let's go ahead south down Bay. Back towards Bloor Street again. Major skyscraper cluster over there. That's by Bloor and Young. This is Bay and Bloor. So if you keep heading south down Bay Street, you'll eventually go right through the heart of the financial district. That's like a good 30-minute walk to the south of here at least. This is the last block of the Mink Mile. We missed most of it, which is behind us. But you'll see Holt Renfrew and a few other luxury retailers along this stretch. Definitely one of the fastest growing nodes of downtown with new towers. Including one that will be one of the tallest buildings in the city. That's that one right there, called The One. It still has quite a ways to go before it tops out. It will eventually be over 300 meters in height, making it a super tall skyscraper. It's one of 3 super talls currently under construction in downtown Toronto.
Why don't we say 9:30, and that way I can get home and get in.
I think this is the new flagship store of Lululemon. This just opened recently, within the last month or so, I think. We're at Yonge Street. Let's look straight south down Yonge into the heart of downtown. Something maybe took place here at Bloor-Yorkville subway station. Inside the station, by the looks of it. Yeah, we have more emergency vehicles over here. Another entry to the station. Bloor-Yorkville is the busiest subway station in the whole subway system. I think I hear an alarm going off. You can see some firefighters over there walking through. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Extends all the way down to here. I don't see any police cars though, so, or ambulances for that matter. So that leads me to believe it's not something that resulted in any sort of injuries or crimes being committed. I am just about at Church Street here as I walk along Bloor Street East. So I think this is where I'll be starting to wrap up the walk. So we made our way all along Bloor Street with a little detour through the Yorkville neighborhood, starting at Bathurst and heading east all the way here to church on a very pleasant Sunday evening. And definitely still a fair number of people out and about enjoying the nice mild weather and the lack of humidity. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store, or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.
Thank you.